Hi everyone! So for my presentation today, I will be doing why you should neuter or spay your pet. So what is it? To neuter is to castrate a domestic animal by removal of the testicles. Spaying is removal of the ovaries in a female. These both prevent the possibility of impregnating the other animal. Spaying is typically more an invasive procedure, so the recovery time is longer, unlike neutering is a quick, minimally invasive procedure. As someone who works in a vet clinic, we see spaying and neutering very constantly. These both prevent the possibility of impregnating the other animals. Spaying is typically more an invasive procedure. Why is it helpful? Both procedures are very critical for the population of both dogs and cats. There are too many animals out in the world that are not castrated, thus causing overpopulation to occur. Most of these non-spayed or neutered animals are either homeless, such as reservation animals, or they're feral. What happens when there are too many animals for the shelter? Euthanasia. Too many innocent animals are being killed because the shelters are overcrowded. There are many programs out there that supply the opportunity for owners to get their pet fixed to avoid these circumstances, such as low-cost spay and neuter programs through non-kill shelters. It's helpful because it reduces marking. It can prevent illness such as pyometria, which is deadly to animals, especially dogs. It reduces overpopulation, as I spoke about before, and eliminates females in heat, which is a big mess. Some perks of the procedure: it's not painful for the animal because they're under anesthetic. The medication is given post-op, which is after the surgery, so they get to take it home so the owners can give them the medication. There's a short healing time, so it doesn't take that long, about 10 to 14 days usually, depending on the circumstances. And the surgery is not a very long process, which means that if there's no complications, the surgery shouldn't last more than an hour and they can go home the same day. Some disadvantages. So out of all the perks, there are always going to be some disadvantages. Some of the underlying problems could be inappropriate urination. There's no breeding for a disadvantage, so you cannot reverse it. So if you get your pet spayed or neutered, that is it. No more breeding. So that's kind of a sad part about it, but also too, it helps reduce overpopulation. It could cause problems such as inappropriate urination, as I spoke about before. The healing process can take some time if there is complications, and it sometimes can be painful or uncomfortable for the animal. 8 million dogs and cats enter shelters in just 1 year. This could be prevented by owners getting pets spayed or neutered to avoid overpopulation of animals. Most have to be euthanized, as I spoke about before, because there is not enough homes for each animal. As mentioned before, some no-kill shelters offer low-cost spay and neuter programs which can help owners in certain situations. So this chart here is about the animals euthanized. So 20% is owner requested, which is if the owner comes into the veterinary office and says, my animal's aggressive, I want it to be euthanized. Health or survival is 32%, sorry. Temperament is 44%. That is a lot for animals. It's just mostly because if they're feral or if there is any other underlying issues. And 4% is space. So it is getting better that we notice, but it still needs to go down. That number should not even be 4%. The cost. Every vet clinic is different. It just depends on where you go. The clinic that I personally work at is around $200 to $500 depending on the size. Some clinics charge depending on the age, some charge depending on the size. But it is a one-time cost that lasts a lifetime, so you never have to worry about that cost again. But if your animal gets pregnant, it's vet bills and checkups, and what if something happens when they're in labor, stuff like that. So it's really, really common for people to get their pets spayed or neutered just to avoid problems in the future, which is a great idea. How can you help? By getting your pet spayed or neutered. This is the biggest thing. You need to get your pet spayed or neutered. I am very, very passionate about this topic because I worked in a shelter and there was too many animals coming in. We were a no-kill shelter, but still we were overpopulated all the time, and all the time it was kittens coming in, litters and litters of kittens, just because the animal wasn't spayed or neutered, especially barn cats. Barn cats need to be spayed and neutered because they are the worst for overpopulating. So that's my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, you can definitely message me. And I look forward to seeing your guys' presentations. Thank you so much.